A pleasant morning, colleagues, a pleasant morning to one and all. We are extremely pleased to have you join us at this primary language arts session with Dr. Miller. She will be guiding us through the art of building connections between reading and writing. But first, before I introduce you to one of the most talented and the most brilliant minds that I know, I wish to set the protocols for this session. Your burning questions are important to us, and we don't want you to forget them. But we will entertain the questions at the end of the presentation. So you are kindly asked to type them in the question and answer box found at the bottom of your screen. Once again, type the question in the question and answer box at the bottom of your screen. They are important to us, and we will get to them with pleasure. So now I count it a great honor to officially introduce you to our facilitator for this session. Over the past 25 years, Dr. Charmaine C. Miller has served the Bahamas in various roles, including as preschool, primary, high school teacher, university professor, educational consultant, human resource trainer, author, and motivational speaker. As a writer, she has authored several children's books, books of poetry, and my favorite, research articles, which have been published in international journals. Because of her passion to equip teachers, Dr. Miller has co-designed the Ministry of Education's National Teacher Mentoring Program. Additionally, Dr. Charmaine C. Miller is the founder and CEO of Proactive Skill Developers, where she designs and delivers unique resources and interactive workshops that empower educators, industry leaders, and even students to keep learning and to keep growing. Colleagues, prepare yourselves for an informative and exciting session as we navigate through the art of building connections between reading and writing. So once again, it gives me great honor to introduce to you Dr. Charmaine Miller.
Awesome. I had to get myself unmuted. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate the gracious, gracious introduction. Thank you so much. Please, please allow me to greet my colleagues all around the Bahamas, as I do if you were sitting right next to me and we were in the same room. Now, if I do greet you that way, even though you're muted, you have to promise to respond with the same vim, vigor, and vitality. Maybe I could see it in the chat group. Let's try it. Good morning, colleagues. Yeah. All right, now let me check the chat group. Let me see if any of my peeps are in the oh, look at my people, look at my people. Oh, there you go, Daphne. I see you, Shikara. Oh, and Annika, what you saying? Oh, Rosemary, Petra Smith, of course. I feel the energy. It is so awesome to be here with you all. I mean, I'm talking about premier, top of the line, tip top educators who are making a time out to sharpen the tools and making sure you're ready to rock and roll. Lady Ingrid Johnson, I appreciate again the really kind words you shared this morning, and being on the platform with you is indeed a blessing, because you are premier in your own right. And if there's anyone who should be up here doing this as well, it'd be you. So I'm grateful to share the platform with you. Thank you so much. Our time is short short, guys. They want me to not do an interactive workshop, but a talk. Really? Just a talk? Man, you should see me. I'm ready. I'm working on my prizes. I'm like, oh, Charmaine, you don't need no prizes. This is going to be a webinar. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm thinking about the activities of Charmaine. They're going to be sitting in front of a screen. So we're all making some adjustments, aren't we? Some serious adjustments. And we're making the connections too. Now, I don't know if you all are excited about the prospects of being able to teach and engage in the teaching and learning process only. And I say it again, to be engaged in the teaching and learning process only. That means you are at a point where you don't have to worry about running to a staff meeting at lunchtime when you could have been doing something with your student. You don't even have to worry about planning those special assemblies. You know the ones we talk about. All we are devoted for now, especially on virtual, is teaching and learning. Isn't that exciting? That's exciting, guys. I love no interruptions, Annika. No interruptions at all. I love that. And so we're looking forward to great advancements in the next few months because we can focus on the main thing and keeping the main thing. And today, my session, we're looking just simply as making the reading and writing connections. And like I always tell teachers, I do hate the fact, well, not I hate, but I have to really let you know that I didn't come to say anything new. And I know some of you will be like, oh, seriously? I'm serious. There's nothing new under the sun. But what I did come to do is to stir up what's inside of you, to stir up something you already know, something you perhaps been exposed to. I'm sure you've been exposed to this, especially if you matriculated through the University of the Bahamas or the College of the Bahamas or any training facility, you would have seen this, all right? Making the reading and writing connection. That's what we're focusing for the next 40. And I'm sure Ingrid, Lady Ingrid Johnson is going to keep me on. I know she's the right one. Okay. My sister says, Sham, you like to run your juicy mouth too much. So guess what? I got someone, the right person who's going to make sure we don't run out. All right. I just came off a class before I came here at the University of the Bahamas, jumped off of that here. And one of the things I told the students, I said, we're doing speech and drama. I said, one of the things you have to realize as a speaker is you have to know when to stop. And you should stop before your listeners stop listening. And that's what I intend to do today. I'm going to stop before you stop listening. Look at this quote. I thought about this and I said, reading is like breathing in. Writing is like breathing out. Let's do that. In fact, let's all take a breath in. Deep one and out. Oh, I know some of you all needed that right about now. You're rushing around, moving about, trying to get to the sessions and making sure you log on. We seldom take those cleansing breaths. Now, as you are taking it in, I want you to see yourself taking in a really good book. And as you take it out, see yourself dialoguing with on a piece of paper. That is what we're talking about, but the reading and the writing connection. We're talking about processes that go together. When I looked at it, I said, you know what? It's kind of like peanut butter and jelly. Hey. Who would have a sandwich with peanut butter without having a little bit of jelly on the side, eh? Reading and writing, it's kind of like heads and tails, two sides of the same coin. So how dare we go about addressing it, teaching it, without putting them together, without making the connection? Because the connection is there. Okay. I think I missed and touched something on my screen. Almost knocked myself out of the room. Sorry about that. Okay, awesome. So hopefully you see this. Now, when we're talking about reading and writing, both of them have strategies. They both have strategies to teach each area. What I love about this is the reading strategies should always lead to writing. If we are teaching a skill in reading, that skill transfers over to what we're doing in the writing. But we need to be very deliberate, very intentional with showing the students the connection. And guess what? When we do, it makes the learning that much more that richer, okay? Writing strategies then should encourage further reading. So they go hand in hand, right? Well, if you do that, I want you to know that, sorry, went too fast. Reading and writing, they go hand in hand, and it makes sense for us then to teach them in an integrated fashion, all right? So today's focus is to demonstrate how this same connection can be done. Notice I say demonstrate. So even though we can't physically be together and have ourselves in a physical room doing all the different activities, we're going to still demonstrate, because a lot of people say, I hear you, but I need you to show me. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to show how we can make it, and make it very simple. And guess what you're going to find? I bet you're going to find that you've been doing it. And all we want to do is just amplify it a little bit more and be more intentional. All right. So that's our focus for our session today. Well, oh.
To Music Studio.
Special report is coming in right now, and I want to be the first one to give you this breaking news that's just coming. Okay, they're passing me the information right about now. Okay, let me give you the special report right now. According to a special report that's going out, we have recommendations being made by the English and Language Arts professional organizations. And they're saying that reading instruction is most effective when intertwined with writing instruction. And guess what? They're saying it works both ways too. Oh, wow. This report is actually saying, fresh off the press, guys, it's been updated. It says that this report says that when children read extensively, they become better writers. Oh, wow. That's interesting. When they read, they become better. Oh, the report, here's another thing it's saying. In fact, the report goes on to say that reading a variety of genres helps children learn text structures and language that they can transfer to their own writing. In addition, you're going to love this. You're going to love this. Listen to this. In addition, reading provides young people with prior knowledge that they can use in their stories. I'm sure a lot of the teachers tuning into this live breaking news report would love to hear that, because how many times the students say they didn't have anything to write about? How many times they say they don't have any ideas? Now, when we're linking, the report says we're linking it together, we're giving them the prior knowledge that they need. Oh, this is real good stuff. Thank you. So I'm thanking my producer right now for sharing this information. I know we're going to get back to our regularly scheduled program in just a minute, but let me just finish this report. It says, especially while we are still in school, a major portion of what we know comes from the text we read. So since writing is the act of transmitting knowledge in print, we must have information to share before we can write. So you see why you got to write? You see why you have to read? Yes, you have to do it. So therefore, reading plays a major role in writing. In fact, this report is ending by saying reading affects writing, and writing affects reading. Thank you so much for allowing us. I appreciate that. I tell you, my production manager makes sure that I am in the know and I share the information with you all. I had to give you that live breaking report. All righty, good. So now back to our regularly sponsored MOE program. Now let's go ahead and demonstrate then. How do we make the connection if we're in our reading lesson and we're making the connection to writing? Well, let's take us teaching them skill of inferencing. And let's show them that they can make this connection, all right, with inferencing. And we're going to walk through this the whole way through and show you how, not just reading and writing, but I want you to think broadly. I want you to think also of our literacy skills. We're talking about listening. We're talking about speaking. We're doing it now, aren't we? We're listening, we're speaking, you're reading a bit, and you're writing a bit, hopefully, okay? And so we're putting all of the literacy skills involved, and we're viewing, aren't we? So let's make the connections. When we read all of the information, talking about inferencing now, that we might need, sometimes the information we need may not all be there, okay? It's not clearly stated in the passage. So to get a clear understanding of the message, we have to use clues, right, boys and girls? This is what we're saying to our students, right? we have to use clues. So, I can see some of them, you mean like a detective? And I'm like, just like a detective. Wouldn't it be nice to still put on a detective hat while we're doing it too? Play some Pink Panther music on the side of it. I love theatrics. I'm sorry, y'all, but drama is my thing. So if we're going to do inferencing, then we need to put our hat on, detective hat. And guess what? You're also going to use your own experiences too. Now, whether you experience it yourself or perhaps shared it through a movie or reading, it's still your experiences, okay? Now, you're going to be asking yourself some questions. You mean, Ms. Miller, we can be talking to ourselves? Just don't answer out loud, okay? So we don't want anybody having any issues when you answer. So here's some questions you're going to ask yourself. You could probably ask yourself, well, how do you know? How do I know this? Or you might be asked to tell us your support. How would you support your answer? This is what you would see when we give you these comprehension questions. We will ask you something and we'll say, how do you know this, right? But then you're going to ask yourself some questions too. See the little boy in the picture over there? He's asking himself a whole lot of questions. All right, so let's give it a try. Now, today, there are a lot of different types of inferences, but we're going to focus on location. And there's a real remedy that we're going to use. We're going to be taking clues that we are going to read. We're going to add them to what we already know, our prior knowledge, and then we're going to make an inference. Now, what's that inference? It's kind of like our guess as to what the writer meant when they made a statement or with the clues they gave, okay? So when you make an inference, you're making an assumption or conclusion, I should say, about something in the passage that's not outrightly stated, but the clues are there, okay? So now we're gonna look at location. I want all the eyes on this location. Where is this? Look real closely. Look at what you see. Take a look at what's all around. Anyone knows can tell me in the chat group, where are we? I tell you, you could. Najla, quick on the draw. She said, in the straw market. Yeah, Lord, Joe knows you know it. Shakara, yes, we're in the straw market. Anyone else, anywhere other place? Yeah, I need you to come back. Don't tell me you're on the beach now. That means you're still thinking vacation. All right, oh good, everybody's in the straw market. Love it. Now, here's what I would do. My students, I'm big piggybacking between the classroom and talking to you all, okay? So my students have looked at this picture. Now, what do you think my next question would be to ask them? How do you know? Let's look closely. Don't forget, did you see a sign? Did I have a sign up there that says that we're in a straw market? No, it's not there. How do you know? They're going to raise their hand and they're going to tell me a clue they see. What do you think is the most obvious clue? The item sold. Now, see, our good, intelligent teachers, we are up there, right? Now, they're not going to say that. They're going to tell you the straw bag, the straw. No, not Helena saying the merchandise store. You all are so high-tech till it ain't funny. Yes, you're right, though. The item sold, the merchandise, yes, they're all straw stuff, okay? Straw hat, straw bag. And guess what? We're missing something else. What else is there? Dun, 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 dun. What else is there? Hey, got to see you. What do you see? The tourist. Thank you, Tina. The tourist. And thank you, Nadia, the vendor. So we have a straw market vendor selling her wares. And now we have the tourist. You all are brilliant. I can tell either you've been to the straw market before or you've experienced it in some way. Good thinking, detectives. So guess what? You just made an inference of the location. This is really good. Excellent readers do this. Guess what? Writers do the same thing too. Now, if you have your phone QR code scanner, and you go right ahead and scan that QR code that's right there in the top right, anyone wants to take an opportunity to scan it and tell me what comes up. So here we have an opportunity now to get some more viewing to use technology. I'm putting this plug in here because I want you all to know when you're being evaluated, because you will still be evaluated, whether you are on Zoom or in your room, whichever one is going to happen. You want to make sure you are using technology in interesting ways. Just the fact that we're on Zoom is not enough. You know that, right? We have to be, because now Zoom is the classroom. We got to do more. So anyone got it? Anyone had a QR code scanner and was able to tell us what that scanner, the Nassau straw market, is what you saw? Was it an actual picture of the market, or was it another cartoon version? Real picture? Yes, the actual picture. In fact, it gives you a link, and when you press on it, you get to see various pictures, and you can do a 360 panoramic view. Wouldn't that be awesome? Okay, so now I get the students now to share with a partner, and I say, hey, talk with your classmate. And yes, Isaac, I love it too. Talk with your classmate and tell them what you see on the picture. What am I doing here? I'm giving them an opportunity to what? To talk. Should be plenty talk in the classroom, by the way. I hope you don't stifle the students, okay? Talk is important, all right? When they talk, we can tell what's in their oral vocabulary. And when we see what's in their oral vocabulary, it gives us a hint as to what will be in their reading vocabulary. So we need to encourage the talk. Awesome. All right, way to go. Thank you so much. So let's move on. So now we've already discovered that we can use clues and our experiences to help us with determining a location. And now here's another QR code that you can use. Now this one I'm gonna use it on mine so that you can hear, and I'm gonna put it up so that you can hear what is actually going to happen, because I want you to respond, okay? Okay, we're ready? Some people already, I can hear you. You know, you're all fast on the draw. You all are already, okay. Why is this gonna freeze? Okay, now who can tell us what's coming up when you do the QR code for this particular one? My screen is popping up all kind of ads. You all know when you get the free version, all the ads want to come out, right? But we teachers like free. Hello, just being real. Okay. And it doesn't want to come up, but let's see. Okay, thank you, Anika. So she's saying the Max the pot cake. So here a story comes out with Max the pot cake and like codes, here we go. Let's see. Oh, come on. Anyway, it doesn't want to work, but we know technology is supposed to help, not hamper, right? So if it's not helping, then we move on. So there goes our opportunity. And let me look at my time. I got 5 minutes, if that's the truth. Huh? Good, okay. Let me know so I know how fast to move. Okay, so the QR code would give us an opportunity to hear a situation where they're gonna hear about Max and the pot cake. And the questions would go with what they've heard. So now we're listening a whole lot more. Very short passage. And what I love about this is with you putting your phone there, it comes on, it comes up, and you can, of course, use your Bluetooth, hook it up to your speaker, and everyone can hear it if you're in the physical classroom. If they're at home and you're giving them a chance to hear it again, they can listen at their own speed and their own time, and you don't have to worry about, oh, I can't hear it. They can't hear from your phone. They have access to it and they can listen to it themselves and respond. Okay. So, in which room did Max choose to hide? And they will give you their answer. Which clue words did you hear that helped you decide on the room? Notice the question, which clue words? Now, we tend to ask them, especially in the upper primary, what evidence is there? So here is where we have to be very deliberate with teaching them. When we use clue words, we say, now, when you see the question on the GLAT or the end of term exam, you'll probably see them say, what evidence is there to support your answer? So we're making the connection there, okay? So now it's riddle time. And I'm gonna ask you to do this real good for me. I want you to close your eyes Oops. Come on, Charmaine. Yeah, I talk to myself. My kids always say, Mommy, why are you always calling your name? I say, well, who else can call my name? I got to talk to me. It's riddle time, guys. Close your eyes and think of your favorite place. Now I want you to think of, and I want to see who's going to give clues. I want you to give clues in the chat group. Someone want to give a clue in the chat group. So see if we can figure out what place you're talking about, okay? I am thinking of a place that has, oh, I see already, someone's already quick on the draw. I'm thinking about a place that has, oh, Thai snack fried dry. Oh, goodness. And let me add to that Thai snack fried dry. Long lines on the outside. Smell of ketchup and hot sauce mingling in the air. What else you think is at this location? Okay, so someone already guessed it. They're at Bamboo Shack. Very good. Okay, someone started to give details about some cookies. Okay, go ahead, Karen. Finish it up for me. Cake, cookies. What else would be there? Because for now, cake and cookies, I could be in my kitchen. Okay. Okay, Charlie figured it out. It's a bakery. I would probably put something bigger in there as well. Okay, so you get the idea. So now they have a riddle. Okay, and if you want to, get them to say it in a riddle form. I'm thinking of a place that has, you know, some students, they like to put it in a rhyme. When you finish with them, oh man, time as they finish writing their thing, you would want to publish it in a book. All right, so they're going to give their clues. So what are we doing here? We're getting some thinking going on, deep thinking, but I like the fact that we are applying what they're learning as well. So that it's higher order thinking. They're creating, you'll realize that that's the revised Howard Gardner levels of thinking. A higher, the new one is now create. And so we're getting them to create their own riddle. I love the fact that we're not even halfway through the lesson and we're already high order thinking. Ain't that nice? So tell them, put that on their ACI evaluation. I ask higher order questions. Come on now. You know, I know all kind of people listening in, but I can't help but be me, y'all. You know, we got to keep it real, right? So we're going to ask higher order questions and get them to do higher order things. You just helped your friend to make an inference about the location of your favorite place. Yay! Now let's put all of this information together to help with our reading. There we go. Lady Johnson, could you give me a hand signal as to how much minutes I have, please? Okay. All right, so let's read for understanding then. Here goes. Everyone can read on their own. Cactus plants were visible in the hot sand as David tried his best to hide from the intense rays of the sun. The camel did not seem to mind the heat, though. I wonder where David is. Let me see. Is he in the front row? Oh, you know what? I think maybe he's down at Sanders Beach. But camel though. Thank you. 10 minutes. All right. Now I love asking myself, yes, Joan, you got it, Laverne. You're all ahead of me, Helena. I'm being facetious though, but I will struggle a little bit with my answer. Why? Because we always show the students that we have it and we don't show them what to do when you don't. So I will struggle a little bit with my answer intentionally. Hot. Oh, I know, but hot. We'd be hot. We hot in the Bahamas. I think he right down on the beach. You on the beach. And then, of course, they're already looking. No, the camel. We don't have camel at the beach. Oh, okay. So what clues helped you then? Annika, you got it. It's hot. There's a cactus plant and there's a camel. We got 3 really good clues. Awesome. Guess what you all are doing? You all are making an inference. You all are giving me your clues, putting the clues together with your experience, and you are coming up with your conclusion. It's not written there, but don't you love the way it's written? It didn't come out and say, oh, David was hot in the desert. Wouldn't that have been a really boring thing to read? When we get to the writing, I want you to remember that. I love that we don't always tell them. we show them, and they're showing us here. So who is this person? Oh, sorry, where is this person? This person is in the desert. How do we know? We just gave you the clues. So when looking for clues to find out where something or someone is, ask some of these questions below. What is in the environment? I'm sure some of you all are looking at my environment on the screen too. I tried to do virtual, but I didn't want anything to go awry. So I took off the virtual background because, you know, sometimes when you put the virtual background, your hair mutating and everything going in like this. Just being real, y'all. So y'all is looking at my background. Can you figure out what items you see? A shelf. Let me see if anyone figured it out. You see some photos. I'm not at the beach, am I? Yes, you see some books. In fact, if I do like this, all you see is books, right? Yes, you do. So I'm in my home library. And how do you know it's not a library at LRS, where a lot of y'all know I spend a lot of my time? Because of the photographs. Very good. The photographs, the family photographs. So we're doing it right here, live in the MOE webinar. So let's move on. So that's when we are reading to understand. Pretty good. Now, let's see how we're going to make this connection go even deeper. I want you to look at what we did, and I'm not going to spend time because you all are the gifted, talented group. But for our students, we would break it down this way. Okay, we would show them exactly what it is they did. Use my own experiences to infer. And here's what you're going to ask yourself. Have I read something about this type of setting before? Have I seen something on television maybe, or maybe a picture or something similar? What have I studied about this different type? Now, see, a lot of you thinking that these questions might not be necessary because it's easy for you. You know the desert. But what about those students who don't have the prior knowledge, who don't have the experience, okay? You need to be very, very painstakingly deliberate with what you do here to infer. Now, moving a little further. Now, here's where we go from the I do, we do, I do as a demonstration, the we do as a whole class, and then the you do as individual practice, okay? So let's look at a whole class example. Here's where we get more into reading. We've done a lot of listening. We've done a lot of reading, a lot of listening, speaking, viewing, and so on, okay? Now, we're looking at whole class practice. Tamika and her family walked through the double glass doors. An elderly lady with a purple hat welcomed them with a smile. She showed them to the middle pew as the loud bells began to ring. The man seated at the organ began to play. Now, I got to be honest with you, when I first read this, I'm like, double doors? Trust me, I was at the hospital. As soon as I was everywhere. And then I listened, okay, elderly woman, yeah, probably the old folks home, okay? Purple hat, she welcomed me with a smile. Welcome me with a smile. What is a hostess place? She showed them to the middle. Then I heard the word, let's see if someone got it in the chat group. Someone heard it, they said they heard the organ. What was the word before the, thank you, Annika, the pew. Crystal, you got it too, the pew. When I heard pew, now guess what? Some kids ain't gonna pick that up. Pew? You mean like when you pew, like you, no, not puke. Sorry, that's a different word, okay? Pew, and then of course you got to elaborate on that. So those are the clues. So where are Tamika and her family? They're at church. How do you know? Those two clues right there. So we moved them from whole practice and now we put them in small groups. Hey, take a look at this. Now you decide how your small group distribution is going to be. Notice we're not just talking about reading, writing, connection. We're trying to put best practices in place too. That's how we want to do it, all right? Now, not sure how your Zoom capability can do, but they do have Zoom rooms that you can put students in. I had a small class I was teaching last week, and I had them chat with each other. I put them in pairs, and I said, in the Zoom chat, they chatted with just that one person. I showed them how to do it, where their chat goes directly to that person. So that could be something you can consider. So here goes another one. In the interest of time, we're not going to do it, and then we go to the individual practice. Notice it's following the same pattern that we gave them before. Listen, colleagues, we're not trying to jump slick on our students. You know what I mean, right? We give them the easiest one when it's time for us to do the whole class, and then we change the layout when it's time for them to do it on their own. And we wonder why they fail. We wonder why, because we set them up for it. So give them similar format, the same format as you gave them before, okay? Our thing is we're not trying to catch them off guard, all right? Awesome, 5 minutes, here we go. Okay, so now we're looking at the reading-writing connection. Now, guess what? We've had writing all along. Y'all notice that? Yes, you've been writing your responses, but when you wrote that riddle, we took it up a notch. Now we're looking at writing a little bit more. So what do I say to the students? Hey, write 2 sentences that contain clues about a specific location, and then write 1 or 2 questions for a classmate to answer about this location. So in essence, I'm almost setting them up to give me pretty much what I've been giving them, a little paragraph, all right? But this one is only just about 2 sentences, just to make it manageable, all right? Now that's just there. But I want to tell you, do you know that I can take this reading lesson and do it even further? All right, so let's engage with technology. Let's see if our technology piece would work with us here. Lord have mercy. Let's pray it works. So those persons who have their gadgets real handy, I want you to go to kahoot.it. That's KAHOOT.IT. Okay, and let's see that this comes up for us. And when you go there, it's going to ask you to put in a code, and let's be prayerful that this code comes up really, really fast for us. Let's see. Ah, here we go. Awesome, awesome. Okay, is it opening? Is it opening? Here we go. Are you able to see my screen, Ms. Johnson? And you hear the music? I can hear the music. Okay, good. Can you put in that code for us real quick? As soon as I see the code. Oh, you can't see the code? Okay. So, what's showing up on the screen?
Just a minute. Can you say the code and I'll type it in the group for you?
Okay, no problem. The code is 8363980.
8333.
Let me start the music. 8363980. 8363980. Johnson, you said you were able to hear the music, right? But you just couldn't hear. Okay. I like the music, y'all, but I'm going to turn it down a little bit. All right. I got a whole bunch of people. Oh, love it, love it. I see you, Evie, TM, Royal. Okay. Evie. There we go. So let's see how well we can put in place what we just learned in terms of putting our clues along with our experiences. Okay, here we go. Ready? Last set to come in. Mark, get in quickly. Deanne, hey, that's Deanne Hinsey. Glad to see you. I see you on the scoreboard, girl. Oh, here we go. Start. Inferencing. Well, that means you can't see the. Oh, you should be able to see it on your phone, though. Okay. Okay, let's see. The sun was beginning to peek out for the day, and my feet made a rhythm on the concrete. Is it an evening run, a morning run, morning bike ride, soccer game? The sun was beginning to peek out for the day, and my feet made a rhythm on the concrete. Is it triangle, an evening run, diamond, a morning run, circle, morning bike ride, or a soccer game? I'm going to end this one right. Yes, it was a morning run. What was the clue there? It says the sun was beginning to peek out for the day. Ah, that's it. Let's see if we get more people on the scoreboard on this one. Ooh, Petra's up there. Come on, y'all. It's time to dethrone her. Here's the next one. Okay, someone is saying we can only see the shapes. Oh, you can't see the answers. I'm sorry. We can't see the. Oh, I see what you're saying. Options. That means you can't see my screen. I don't know why you can't see my screen. Okay, I'll read it then. Let me turn the music down so you can hear me. I do apologize. The aroma of fresh baked bread fills my nose as I step into the door. The clock read 10 a.m. Are we looking at triangle grabbing a taco? Diamond, Subway at lunch? Circle, Subway at breakfast? Or square, Taco Bell?
Dr. Charmaine, we can't hear you.
Oh, you can't? Oh,
Yes, only can hear the answer.
is that better? Okay, good. Oh man, I'm really messing up today, huh? So sorry, guys. The aroma of fresh baked bread. Okay, here we go. So now let's skip that one then, because we didn't get to see. I don't understand why you can't see my screen. I'm sorry. I'll read it though. The sun beamed down on us. The waves sparkled in the sunlight. I sat back and smiled. Is that triangle? I felt excited. Diamond, I felt nervous. Circle, I felt relaxed. Or square, I felt unhappy. The sun beamed down on us. The waves sparkled in the sunlight. I sat back and smiled. Okay, let's see what the comments in the chat group are saying. Ah, someone said relax in the chat group. All right. Okay, let me wrap up here. Okay, so we'll come out of this one. I'm sorry, I'll have to end the game, guys. I have to end the game. All right. That's our time. That's what happens when you do with technology, you know? Leave. Okay, so let's get back to wrapping up. Thank you so much for playing with me on that one. And I do apologize, it didn't work as we wanted it to, but I appreciate those who. But let me just end by letting you know that even though we did a reading lesson and we had writing, listening, speaking, you know that when you take your chunk of time for your composition lesson, you can actually take the same skill of inferencing and delve further into that because there is the connection. There's a huge connection between the two, okay? So we could actually look at the same skill called show, don't tell. And here's my composition lesson. Take a look at this response, okay? Take a look at this response. Now, question for you. See the questions? I'm asking you, what does this show? Notice I'm asking you, what does this show? Okay. Now, here's what some students will say. Oh, this show that she's happy. Oh, this show that she's surprised. Oh, this show. I said, no, what do you see? What did she do with her eyes? What did she do with her hands? Can you see what happened to her mouth? And I know a lot of you wondering, well, what does this have to do with writing? Everything. What emotion did she show? I'm making an inference here. Now, why do I need to do this in writing? That's what good writers do. They don't just come right out and tell you, they show you. So here's what she did with her eyes. Her eyes widened with excitement. Ooh. With fingers stretched out, she covered her wide open mouth. She screamed in delight and smiled broadly. You see how inferencing makes for a good piece of writing? We're making the connection for them. What about this one? What does this show? I know y'all like that one, huh? Well, if I would have been able to continue, we would give them several examples where they're doing the same thing, all right? Ask them questions. You know what is a good thing? Is get them to perform the action and have the other class tell you what they see and let them go ahead and write what they see. So now we're being very intentional with making the reading, writing connect. She squinted her eyes, glaring angrily at the boy. She wagged her right hand wildly as she clenched her left fist. Her jagged teeth peep through her twisted mouth. Can you see that picture? You sure can. And of course, then we use anchor charts. I know Leanne Forbes is really keen on this one. She's one of the persons who reminded me the importance of using anchor charts, and they're all over the internet. You could copy them, print them, whatever. But we will go through the steps of why they need as a writer to show. Then you let them try it in their whole class, try it as a small group, and try it as an individual. Show them pictures and ask them questions. Hey, I want you to take a picture and I want you to show me that this person was afraid. What do you see? Go ahead and write a few sentences down. How do you show that you're sick? How do you show that you're hot? And so on, okay? The connections are endless, guys. I want to end with these few words just to remind you what we're saying and what we're doing is not something we picked out of a hat. This is research proven, okay? In fact, writing is the true complement to reading, because it enables students to clarify and think critically about concepts that they encounter in their reading. And if you look at it, students need time to write about what they're going to read about. So we can even have them making predictions, or perhaps even using an anticipatory guide where they're getting ready for the reading. And then after reading, students have to write again for clarification of what was read. And of course, this same reading before and after and writing is what we call the write, read, write model. That's the reading, writing connection. So I'm gonna just end by saying, are you ready to make the right connection? Let's help our students make the reading, writing connection for deeper learning. And let's make it intentional that we do, not just in reading, not just in writing, but even in our content area. I could see some invertebrate lessons coming on right now in science where we're inferring whether or not the animal we're talking about is really an animal that lives in a certain habitat, is really an invertebrate. Okay, we can make inferences there, can't we not? Yes, 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 we can do it. All right. So for those persons who want more resources, I would encourage you can go to charmaine.com/motivate reluctant writers. That link will actually give you a free resource that I created that you can use right away as a template. You can copy it. You're free to copy it. It'll actually give you an activity that you can use to get your students writing right away as soon as they come back in October. It will give them a form of poetry. And when they're finished with that poetry, it actually transfers over into a paragraph and show you how you can take that same piece and get them to write a paragraph. And from that paragraph, now get them to write an essay. So if you take a look at that, and I love the build up because the poetry gives them motivation and it gives them quick success. All right. It's the same thing I have in my other book. But anyway, with that being said, let's do it, guys. We can make the connection. Let's make it happen. And let's see our students through this learning process. A lot of learning to be had, guys, if we just help them make the connection. Back to you, Lady Johnson.
Thank you so much, Dr. Miller. We have one question for you. My students wrote a story, and this is coming from Marva. My students wrote a story together based on their experiences on the Key. They want to publish it. What do you recommend?
Okay. Publish it. Now, publishing there's so many different levels of publishing. I publish my students' work all the time. And there's so many different ways to do it. It doesn't have to be something that goes into a store. That's the thing. Okay. Now, I know you all know about the bulletin boards and that kind of stuff, but I'm not talking about that. Right now, social media is our friend, guys. You can put that publishing, you can publish it on Facebook, you can publish it on YouTube, all that kind of stuff. Now, if they particularly want a book, say for someone, say raise funds or whatever, self-publishing is the way to go. Going to a publishing house that's the thing of the past now because it takes so much money. So you definitely want to make sure that you save your funds, cut costs. But here's another good thing to do. Use the community to publish the work. By that, I mean, if there's someone who has a nice storefront window, please go ahead and post a piece of writing, ask them, hey, I have my group, they did a really good piece and I want the community to know about this writer. Get a nice photo, author in residence, put the picture up and put the piece. Listen, it's in the community. So they have something, it's published. It's published. But I know you mean about, the professional way. There are ways to do that too, but I don't want to take up too much time. I could give more. Is there another one? Another question, Ms. Johnson? No? Okay. All right. But yeah, let me encourage you, go ahead and publish as soon as you can, because getting them to share it, if you have a PA system in your school, getting them to share it with everybody is also publication. That's important. Getting them to talk about it to share it with their family, that's publication. See, publishing is basically just sharing it. All right, that's the main thing. I make a little booklet for my students, and I let them sell it to their family and friends. They be like, really? Yep, that's their work, and they can go ahead and sell it. So just an idea. All right.
All right, thank you so much, Doc. I will join with Joy and Anita and Anika and Tedra and Renise and the host of other colleagues in the chat box that are saying, excellent presentation. I enjoyed it. Nice. Do it again. Make it longer. Dr. Miller, thank you so much for a highly informative and engaging presentation. We've learned so much about the natural connections between reading and writing. And I'm like a quotaholic, so I'm going to take away my number one takeaway. Reading is like breathing in, and writing is like breathing out. Colleagues, I trust that the knowledge that we've gained will prove beneficial to you as you lead with confidence and competence. We wish to express our sincere appreciation to you for giving us your undivided attention. Now, just before we leave, we are going to add 2 free items, more free stuff, Dr. Miller, 2 items to your chat box. One will be a PDF takeaway resource entitled Systematic Guided Practice Making Inferences. So all that wonderful stuff you saw with the desert and the Q codes, all of that wonderful stuff will be given to you. Secondly, we are going to add to the chat box a link so that you can complete a survey that will be available to you. After its completion, we are reminding you to sign out of the session and sign in for your next presentation. So enjoy the remainder of the day.